right, good evening. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the night shift.
Yes, something different.
Definitely something different. I hope everyone has a nice warm beverage, whatever way you want it to warm you up tonight.
You're off the clock, so we won't look. Just turn your
Yeah.
camera off.
All right. So we have a really full house tonight, don't we, Biz?
Yeah, we had a waiting list and we kept adding everyone anyway. So yeah, tons of people registered. We're really glad you're here. We wanted to provide these sessions because we know balancing work and life is hard. And we know that the school day isn't going to be the perfect time for everyone. So thanks for being here. We hope that you benefit from this session. I guess we should introduce ourselves. My name is Biz Summers. I'm the ITC at Fredland Middle School.
And I'm Katie Fielding. I'm the ITC at Woodbridge High School.
And today we're going to share a bunch of stuff that we sort of put together under the umbrella of course design. But really our goal is to talk to you about great instruction and how you can be most effective and engaging in your Canvas class. But we're actually going to start with the topic of cross-listing. And from what I saw in the comments, that was a topic that a lot of you are looking forward to learning about. So I'm going to share my screen. If you have any questions, we are going to ask that you keep your mic on mute and that you ask them in the chat. While I'm talking, Katie will moderate the chat. And when we switch, we'll do the same thing. So if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. You should be looking at my dashboard in Canvas now, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is cross-listing. And you've probably already heard a lot about cross-listing. So I want to talk first about how to do it. And then we can talk about the pros and cons of if you actually will want to do it. So let's talk about how your courses are going to be laid out. The courses that you have published from the hub, as far as we understand at this point, are going to be set up so that we can return to school on a hybrid schedule eventually. That means your first period class will actually be 2 separate courses. And that's to the best of my knowledge. So you would have first period A course and first period B course. So if you teach 4 classes a day, you would have 8 courses here in Canvas. In my school, our encore teachers have 10 classes a semester, so they would have 20 courses that automatically publish. So depending on the number of courses that you teach and how that does get pushed out, it might become overwhelming. Cross-listing allows you to bring those courses together, so any work you do only happens in one course. Now that can be good or bad, but let me first show you how you set it up, and then we can talk about the pros and cons. So the first thing you need to know is that you can only cross-list courses that are identical to each other. So they have to be the exact same prep. So if you are a middle school teacher who teaches pre-algebra and algebra 1, you could only cross-list algebra classes. Your pre-algebra classes would have to be cross-listed separately from that. And it doesn't matter what order you choose to cross-list things in, but within that one prep that you teach, you want to assign one course as a parent course is the language that we use for this. So you can choose any one of those prep sections to be called your parent course. You don't need to name it, but I named mine parent course here just to be really clear. So when you start the process of cross-listing, you're going to start by going to that parent course. And hopefully my internet will be a little cooperative tonight. It's just been a little slow today. Within your course, you'll see that you always have this link that ends with a 6-digit code. And that's going to be different for every course that you teach. So your first step is to open your parent course, whichever one you decide is your parent course. And then you're just going to copy that 6-digit code. From there, you'll go back to your dashboard. And you're going to go to any one of the courses you decide is going to be a child course. So if my parent course is my A day first period, then my child course is going to be first period B day. So I'm going to go, knowing that I've already copied that code, I'm going to go to my child course. And then over here in the course navigation, I'm going to scroll all the way down to settings. And then I'm going to go to this tab up here called sections. And then you're going to see all kinds of options, but be careful. This is where I sometimes lose people. You actually want to click on the name of the course right here. If you don't have your mouse over it, you might not even realize that you can click on it, but that's your next click. So you click on sections and then the name of the course. And then once you're in this course, you're going to choose to cross-list this section. It gives you the option to search, but we don't want to do that. We want to enter the course's ID. So right here in the second box, I'm going to right click and paste. And there's that 6-digit code I got from the parent course. It sometimes takes a second, but it's going to pop up what course that is. So I know that it's my parent course right here. And I'm going to click cross list this section. When that's done running, my parent class is now going to be the only class that I'm looking at. I'm not even going to see my first child course back on my dashboard. I'm only going to see my parent course there instead. So I'll show you what that looks like. If I go back to the dashboard, I can now see my parent course and I can see my second child course, but I can't see my first child course. So just to go through that again, because I want you to see that you can do this with as many sections of the same content as possible. The same thing I did there. I go next to my next child course, my second child course. I scroll down to settings. I take a moment in my life to wonder if my home Wi-Fi or school Wi-Fi is slower. I click on sections up here. And again, I'm clicking on the name of the course here. Don't be confused by any of the other things around here. I click on second child course. And then I cross-list this section again. I paste that code one more time. I see that it's my parent course just to make sure I got the right one. And I click cross-list. And it does its thing. And then I'll get that little check mark to let me know that I successfully cross-listed. Now, I wanted to show you this because I want you to see what it looks like once you have a cross-listed section. Because the first thing I really need you to know about this is if you do decide to cross-list, you're kind of stuck with it, at least once you start assigning work. Data that is attached to a kid in Canvas stays within the course. So if you were like, I'll try cross-listing and then maybe I'll uncross-list, students would lose all of their work and all of their grades when you uncross-listed. So before you do choose to cross-list, you want to absolutely make sure that you meant to do it. You want to make that decision and stick with it. Because undoing it is going to lose a lot of data and put you back a lot. So now here's my course. It just says parent course, but I'm going to have all of my students from any class, from any of the child courses that I added to this will all be available here. So what's great about it is that if I need to create an assignment now, I can click on assignment. And when I build that assignment, I can assign it just one time and all of my students will get that assignment. I don't need to copy it between courses. I don't need to create the same thing 3 times. The other good news is that if I do create this assignment, when I decide who I'm going to assign it to, I can choose which course section I want to assign to. So if I have something that is just for my first period A day that I don't want my first period B day to see, I can still just assign to them. So it gives you a ton of flexibility that way. And I think that's what makes it such an amazing and valuable tool is that you can manage groups that way. Here are some drawbacks that I want you to know about. You already know that you are going to have the easiest way to get students into Zoom meetings, the same way you got into this one, by going over to Zoom in your course navigation. Because all of your students will be in the same course, when you set up a Zoom meeting, whatever meeting that is going to be visible to all students. So that's great for your first period students. Your first period A and B students will only see that one meeting. But then your second period A and B students will also be able to access that meeting. So that's kind of a, you could decide if that's a pro or a con. I think that's probably more of a con than a pro, although I guess it's great if a student comes in late and skips another class. I don't think it's a great thing. Especially if we've got some learners who have a lot of problems with technology, that might be really overwhelming for them too, to be able to see all of that stuff. If you integrate different apps like Flipgrid, that'll work great, but you'll have every single kid in that cross-listing class maybe on the same Flipgrid. So I think Zoom is gonna be one of the big disadvantages. The other thing is, and maybe you'll think this is good or bad, all of the grades will be together, which means that there's no easy way to transfer them over to the gradebook. So when you look at their grades, you can download a CSV and upload it to PowerTeacher Gradebook, but that will just be a couple extra steps because you can't separate it out when you download that CSV. You'd have to separate it later. So that it's going to be a little bit more work on the grading end, but a lot less work on the assignment end. So I think people may be asking themselves, should I cross-list or not cross-list? And my answer for you is you have to just weigh those pros and cons out. I would definitely suggest talking to your CLT and discussing what you think is going to be best. Personally, as a former middle school teacher, I think what I would do would be to cross-list my first period A and first period B, and probably not cross-list my other classes. But again, it really is a matter of personal opinion. It's a matter of the kind of abilities of the students that you teach. And so I want you to go into this making an informed decision. I'm going to pause here and ask if there are any questions, because I see the chat going a mile a minute.
There are so many questions. Think about, all right, when should I cross-list? And I think you're right, Biz. I think it should be you cross-listing your A and B days or A and B sections of that same period, but not probably combining all of your periods. I think that's definitely going to get things messy. So there was a lot of questions. So would that be good for, would this be good for encore classes, putting all the grades together?
So with an encore class, you wouldn't be able to, I'm thinking here of middle school, so I'm sorry if maybe you want to speak to this in high school, Katie. If I were an encore teacher at my school, where my teachers, like I said, are going to see 20 courses, I might put all of my 8th through 8 classes together. It's still going to be a lot to manage grades, but just because of the number of courses you're looking at, it might make your life easier to do that. Again, that's definitely something I'd talk about as a CLT though.
I think a really good question that came up is, how does this affect the Hub gradebook and the syncing?
Okay. So when Prince William County purchased Canvas, there were a lot of discussions about what we could and couldn't do. And Canvas and the Hub all said that they would sync perfectly together. Due to some issues that are still being worked on, as the school year begins, we will not see syncing between gradebook in Canvas and gradebook in the Hub, no matter whether or not you cross-list. I'm really sorry if that's bad news and you are just hearing it for the first time. I know that the powers that be are working on that because a part of purchasing Canvas was the belief that it would sync. But for now, syncing is not going to be an option to start the year.
Yeah. So someone says, if we cross-list 1A with 1B, do the students see 1 or 2 assignments?
They will only see 1.
Yeah.
It'll only appear to them once.
It's basically
they won't even know.
It's basically like you combine all of your classes into one class. So yeah, so you would only want to do this if you have co-taught classes, to combine that SPED list and the regular ed list, or the L list and the regular ed list, or those A and B lists. But I probably wouldn't combine all of my lists because that's going to be really tricky, like she said, with the Zoom meetings, because we're going to be wanting them to go to that Zoom tab. But if you combine them all into one, they're going to see period 1, 2, 3. They're going to see so many meetings, and we don't want that.
Yeah, and even like within my own staff full of adults, I've seen people jump into the wrong meeting because it was just there and they clicked the wrong thing. So I can imagine that with our students, it will be even more challenging.
Yeah. Let's see. Even if the rosters A and B are the same students.
I don't know why A and B would be the same students.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be. I think if they were, that would mean they were in different courses that you could not cross list because they'd be a different prep. So yeah, no, it would only, A and B would have to be different rosters for them to work in the hub.
I'm teaching an Art 3 and 4 class. Can I combine those lists? I would say if they're meeting at the same time and you're giving them the same assignments, but you cannot combine courses that have a different course code, I believe is how they've set it up.
That's my understanding as well. Yeah. So even if you would teach the same content, if they're coded differently in the hub, it just will prevent you from doing that.
This is definitely a topic that you're going to have to work on with your CLT to make some decisions, and with your ITC at your school to help make some decisions about what's going to be best for you and your school.
Yeah, thanks, Nisha. That's the best advice. Like, we can give you the pros and cons and let you know, but you know your kids and your colleagues best, and those conversations are going to be really useful. If you walk away tonight being 100% sure, I'll be surprised.
Will there be a course listed for each day for kids who we see 2 days?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but are they in 2 different sections? Then yes, you'd see them in 2 different classes. So we're really focused on how things, I don't know if that's an elementary question, but we're here with middle and high school knowledge to drop.
Yeah. So I'm peeking over at the chat, and just to speak to the grades, when you are looking at the grades in a cross-listed class, you can filter it down so you can see them one at a time. But if you do want to download a spreadsheet, which then you can upload to your hub gradebook, the CSV doesn't download with them separated. You have to separate them after you download the CSV. So you can look at them nicely separated out, but you can't download them nicely separated out.
And what is a CSV? So CSV is a comma separated value Excel spreadsheet. And so when you download that, that would just be a spreadsheet with your grades on it. It's just a specific type of data only spreadsheet. There's not formatting, there's not prettiness, it's literally just data.
Yeah, and you'll see more of that. That's something I hope that ITCs will be having courses about as we actually have grades and we're ready to start moving them around.
Mm-hmm. And it may be, there's been some talks, and this is totally going to be school specific, how you're going to differentiate your hub gradebook from your Canvas gradebook. So that again is something you're really going to have to go to your school administration and ITC for.
Yeah. Yeah, so hub gradebooks will be separated A-B. I don't know about like virtual versus A-B. I don't think they're approaching it that way yet. So I think we've said everything we could say about cross-listing.
I think we have.
I'm going to stop sharing and hand it over to you, Katie.
Yeah. All right. So we wanted to not just stand up and be up here and presenting all evening. So we want to send you guys into a little breakout room to kind of, as a pre-activity to what we're about to get into, talking about synchronous versus asynchronous. Another way to think of this is on demand or streaming. So we live in this, Dan Nemro at Patriot really has this idea of, we're teaching a Netflix generation. So if we use their terminology, it's really friendly to them. So on demand would be those asynchronous activities, while our synchronous activities are those streaming activities. So we're going to be sending you guys into some breakout rooms. But before we send you into the breakout rooms, I'm going to give you a link to a PowerPoint document. Let me see, anyone with the link can edit. Okay, allow editing, apply, copy the link. All right, so I'm going to be putting this link into the chat. And it may be limited to, you know, only a few people. I think PowerPoint has a limit to how many people can edit at once. We'll see if we break that limit. But let's see. Slideshow. This is, I'm going to show you my screen. This is a great way, if your school decides that you are going to do breakout rooms, this is a great way to monitor those breakout rooms. So everyone can see my screen with the PowerPoint slides. Biz, we're good?
Yep, we're good. I said
all right,
yes.
So I can have everyone contributing to this slide deck, and I can watch my groups in the different breakout rooms adding to the slide that they're assigned. And I can monitor their activity this way if I can't be in all the rooms at once. So hopefully you guys logged in with your authenticated Zoom account, and it will automatically send you to the room we've assigned you. You'll see the name of your room, and that is the slide that you are going to work on. And you're just going to talk about what are some asynchronous activities you see yourself doing, and what are some synchronous activities. And we've paired you up by content. So hopefully you'll be in the room, in the breakout room with the people of your content, as long as you signed in with your authenticated account. So I think Biz is gonna do the breakout room magic. If you don't get sent to a room automatically, we will ask you your content and we will send you to that room. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't see my normal breakout room controls, so let me.
I have it.
Maybe.
I do. Okay. I don't know why.
I think it's because you started the meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. So here we go. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. Open all rooms. All right. So hopefully you guys should be going to your rooms. And let's see. All right. So there's definitely some people who did not sign in with their accounts. So I'm just going to assign you to a room, and we'll hope it's somewhere you want to be.
Yeah, you're going to see that it opens in slide 1, but you, oh, you can't see your group number. It should say like room 2.
It should say at the top of your, yeah.
Although if you're hearing this, you're already in the room.
Yeah. It's quite a few people left here.
I see 98.
Oh my gosh. So it's going to be really important.
Have
you guys authenticate your accounts before, you know.
I can't get my chat to shrink so I can see what room number I'm supposed to be in.
Oh, you'll get a pop-up that will say the host is inviting you to join breakout room, and then it will just tell you the name of your breakout room.
Alrighty. Well, okay.
If you're here with us, you're not in a breakout room yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that I know.
Yeah,
I know how to get to a breakout room, but my chat is in black with pictures of you guys, and I can't get out of.
I think you're seeing Katie's chat. She's sharing her screen, and so her chat is visible to you. I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to X out of it. It's not letting me X out of it. Oh gosh.
You can't X out of their chat. All right. Well,
okay. Now I'm back to the Canvas design, your email. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hold on. I think if I go down here, see, do you see my screen? I don't know what happened. Whoa.
Yeah,
it's just a.
I think you'll need to look for Zoom at the bottom. Just as Katie continues to put people in rooms, I just want to speak to this question. So if you're listening to this, it means you have not yet had a chance to verify your Zoom account through PWCS. Entering through Canvas doesn't actually verify it. The way you're going to do that, and I will find, before this night is over, I will put video instructions for doing this into our course so that everybody knows how to do that. But you can sign into Zoom and verify your account by signing in through PWCS. So I'm going to put the link in right here.
Yeah, but I have a PWCS account.
That doesn't mean it's verified though. If you
Mhm.
create it in the spring, you haven't, like, it's possible that you have not verified it. Yeah, so there's a difference. There's,
Oh, so you're okay. So you're going to send that link so we can figure out how to do it, or put it in an email.
I will put it in that course. I will put that video in the course. I'll put it right at the top. I won't be able to do it until we're done with today's session, though.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
we're narrowing it down. We're getting down to 32 people.
All righty. Well, I'm still looking at the Zoom. Oh, it's weird. All right.
I wonder if people get excited when they finally get sent to a room.
I do like though. It's nice that even as we're waiting, I know you're not looking at it right now, but I can see
people adding.
Yeah, people successfully adding to the document. So that's awesome. I'm really excited about that.
Okay, I got it.
All right, go ahead and join it and we'll see you back here.
Yeah, if this many people haven't verified, that's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
I know that my school, we're doing unverified meetings this week, but next week they have to be verified.
We are in the same boat. I was trying to do all verified this week, but you peer pressured me out of it, and I'm really glad.
Right, it would be insane.
Yeah,
insane. Oh, there are like no. Oh wow. Oh, okay. I did. Yeah, there are some people. Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay, you've assigned everybody, and it might be because we just have so many people in the room, we can't put the last handful of people into rooms, question mark?
Yeah, I don't see anyone unassigned.
Yeah, so Cheryl, just, I've had some teachers who thought that they had verified, then go and look at their account. A quick way to see is it'll say, when you first log into your account, it'll say you're licensed, and it will also say that you have 300 participants. So a really easy way to check that, if you see 100 instead of 300, that's how you definitely know you're unverified. There's a handful of people who we couldn't pre-assign to rooms, so it's possible that you verified your account and you were just one of the lucky people who just, because we had 230-ish people assigned and only 200 possible spots to put people in, that might be why. So yeah, sorry. I know it's frustrating. This is a learning experience for us because we've never tried to. So yeah, Cheryl, if you saw 300 and licensed, you're verified. So I'm not sure. You must have just been one of the lucky ones who didn't get put in through the CSV.
We're gonna call everyone back in.
Yeah,
just a minute.
I think our takeaway from this too might be that 200 is too big for breakout rooms.
I think that is the takeaway.
But hey, we still got some great stuff, which I'm really excited to be able to put there as a resource for people who didn't make it into a breakout room. They'll still be able to take a look at these discussions that happen. All right. Yeah.
They're going to be coming back in the next 50 seconds.
Perfect. Oh yeah, I see them. Here they come.
Hey, Katie, can I ask you a quick question? Because by the time I type it, everybody will be back in here.
Okay.
I thought I verified because when I was in our department chair meeting and Cynthia put us in breakouts, I went in. So does that mean I am, or?
We'll show, I'll pull up on the screen some ways to and show everyone things that they can do to check their account.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm muted.
Yeah. Cheryl, we shared the link to the PowerPoint in the chat, and so that's how you were supposed to access it before you went to the breakout room. It looks like we have almost everyone back. So I do want to put this link in the chat. If you have not verified your Zoom account, you will go to this website and you will use it to sign in. If it's the first time signing in this way, it will ask you, it will make you verify your account, and it will say, we're going to send you an email. And it could take a little while for that email to come, but you'll know that your account is verified when you go to your account profile and you see the name Jason Stevens. Okay, that sounds weird and like it's not supposed to happen, but that is exactly what's supposed to happen. You'll get an email that says, hey, do you want to give your account to Jason Stevens? Yeah, you do. And so when you see Jason Stevens here, you'll know that you have verified your account. And then also in your profile, when your personal Zoom meeting has pwcs-zm-ddu, you'll also know that your account has been verified. So let's see. So hopefully that is at least one takeaway from today's meeting. I put that link in again. That's where you'll click, that's where you'll sign in. So if you didn't do that, that's likely why you didn't automatically go to a breakout room. Also, we can kind of tell who's verified and not if you have your middle initial in your name, because you can't actually change your name for how it appears. So you'll see I'm Catherine J, you'll see Biz is Elizabeth E. Summers. We can't change your names at this point yet. So we'll know that yours is verified if your full name with middle initial is there. That's another hint to me as the presenter. All of those people that I had to push in a room didn't have that middle initial. So, but some people don't have a middle initial, but many people do. All right. So we were able to at least see in that breakout some really good action happening. So you can see in the PowerPoint slides, we were able to observe in this room, all the action happening. So hopefully you kind of had some good dialogue about what is some synchronous activities and what are some asynchronous activities, because that is the root of what you guys want to be starting to think about. And yeah, we will put this PowerPoint so you can go back and look at all of these great ideas that I'm sure your colleagues and whoever was in your room had to look at later. And yeah, we wanted you guys to be in rooms with your content area because we thought that would be really great. And so we're sorry it didn't exactly work out, but hopefully it was a good experience and we learned some things that only 200 people can be in breakout rooms total at a time. So there is the link to that document again, and we'll put it in the course later. Any questions, Biz, that we need to address?
No, but I just, the overwhelming sentiment in the chat is, I know that I'm verified, but I don't have a middle initial, or I know I'm verified, but I didn't get into a breakout room. If you know that you verified it, and if you see that you're licensed and you have 300 and you've got Jason Stevens, then you have everything you need to be able to participate in Zoom meetings with staff and with students in Prince William County. So don't get hung up if like you have a weird exception with the breakout rooms or the initial, you're still good to go. Also, since you have that PowerPoint open, can you show how you switch to that thumbnail view, please?
Yeah, so sure, of course. To switch to the thumbnail view, where'd it go? In the bottom corner, I just click clear the grid. So this way is the slide view. And okay, wow, we're really moving somewhere. Oh, I apparently wanted to present. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So in the bottom corner, you can go from slide view to grid view. You can easily see a good 12 slides at a time. So you could have 12 separate rooms going at one time. What I was trying to bring up is my Zoom app. And I just want to show in that corner, you're going to see licensed right there. And it's going to be kind of rainbow colored. So that will also indicate if you are a licensed user. So hopefully that will help you with some Zoom questions or knowing if you're verified. The Zoom template, so this isn't a Zoom session, but sure, we can send you the breakouts thing. You can also just download it when you're making a meeting. When you click the breakout box, check the breakout box when you're creating a meeting, that CSV template will be right there for you. How did we assign different slides? Well, we just made different rooms with different numbers, and on each slide we put that number. So we just did it that way. All right, so we're gonna move on. Let's see. We did cross-listing. We talked about some asynchronous and asynchronous things. Let's talk about engaging front pages. So Biz and I have seen a lot of hubbub about Bitmoji classrooms and making really pretty pages. And we're not here to dampen your fire or make you unexcited, but we really need to think about accessibility when it comes to creating these front pages. So for instance, I have a front page where I put my announcements at the top, and I just have simple buttons which say the words and have an icon that kind of identifies where the student is going. So this is our course that we built for every student to be in. There's no table used to format these. These buttons are all just centered. So you don't want to use tables to format anything. That is a big accessibility no-no. And each of these images has alt text. So if a screen reader was to use this, they would go to this button and it would say school news. It would say build skills. So we really want to keep accessibility at the forefront of our minds when we're creating our front pages for our class. Biz, do we have any questions about front pages?
I think you are good. You can keep going.
Okay. All right. So definitely, this is definitely a space where you can, use your personality and create a warm, welcoming environment. But I kind of want to push you to, hey, this is a great opportunity to have your students build the environment. Maybe you don't get too deep into it now, but when you get a class, like have them help you start developing the buttons. Like kids could definitely make these graphic images. Have them start being part of that process. If the classroom is theirs, like make it theirs. That's my little, Wednesday night sermon. But yeah, think about students. I know we want to make it a warm, welcoming place, but definitely leave opportunity for them to be involved in that at some point. Oh, it's Tuesday. Well, I was hoping it was wind down Wednesday, but apparently it's not. All right, so that is an engaging front page. The next thing I want to talk about is modules. In your courses, you will make modules, and those are the ways you're and help students by connect of the same type. Oh, I don't have any modules here, so that would be a bad example. But modules are really going to be the powerful way to have students self-guide through a unit of content. Remember, we really need to be putting the focus on the asynchronous side of our course. The Zoom time is going to be really great, and we're going to build relationships and get in touch with our students and help them. But we're going to have a lot of students who can't come for various reasons. I'm in high school. They're going to have jobs. They're going to be watching siblings. So we really need to create these modules so that they're able to do this work on their own with direction and with a hand, but even though we're not there. So I've created this module for my teachers, and some things that I put in place that are going to be really helpful are the requirements. So I just click on the 3 dots in my module and I click on edit, and I can add requirements. So I decide, which things in this module must a student do? And I add them to the list of requirements so they can't go from one page to the next in the module without doing each step. So I've added a page and they have to view it. They can't get to the next page until they view this. Whether they really read it, I mean, we're not exactly sure, but at least you can say, hey, they checked that box, they were at that page. Then the next thing, they have this assignment and they have to actually submit the assignment before they can go on to the next thing. The next assignment, they also have to submit. The next assignment, they actually have to score at least a certain score to get further. So it's like a mastery-based movement. So if they don't get any further, they can't go. And Biz later is going to show you about mastery paths, which can take this even further on, like next level guiding students. Then I have another assignment they have to submit, and so on. So I get to tailor the module so my student just doesn't get to this page and jump around. I'm actually guiding them to what they should do first, middle, and last. Biz, do you have any questions that I should
No, I don't think so. We've got a lot of chat, but I think you can keep going.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I wasn't quick enough to type. Where did you find that? The pictures were, something was covering up wherever you went to get the.
So you just click the little 3 dots and you go to edit.
Excellent, thank you, I'm sorry.
And that's where you'll add your requirements. Another thing that you can add is a prerequisite. So I'm going to go to my next module and I can add the prerequisite. So I'm going to say that they have to do the module before. They have to have everything complete before they can even access this module. And then I can add my requirements. So this really allows your high flyers to like move ahead and not be held back. In that same vein of Dan Nemro talking about like on demand or streaming, he also talks about like binging classes. And it's kind of okay if our kids binge our class and just do everything within a short period of time. Why is that bad? You know, especially if we're in this remote setting. So setting your modules up like this allows those kids that want to binge and to go in the direction that you want them to go. You can also lock it until a certain date. So if you are kind of one of those people that really wants them to kind of hold people back, you can say, okay, like you can move this far ahead, but not by this date. So you can also set a date that it can unlock. So if you're trying to pace your kids, those are some ways to do it by building modules with prerequisites, requirements, and locking. Biz, do we have any questions?
The only one I haven't been fast enough to answer yet is, do they need to be all published to set the prerequisite?
Yes, so anything, yeah, you would need to have the module published to set the you could set it, but then publish it later. Yeah, that makes sense. You can set it, I can set this now. I don't have this module published. I can make the prerequisite now, but update module, okay, great. So yeah, they have to complete this one before they do this one, but I don't even have this one published yet. Any other questions, Biz?
Yeah, it's come up a couple of times. It's not really in our notes for today, but maybe you don't mind showing it. A lot of people want to know if they want to copy a module for one class to another. Like I told them they could do it in the Commons, but maybe show it.
Yeah, and actually I think the easier way is to just import it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so go to the class that you want to pull it into. So I made this module here, but I want to pull it in somewhere else. So I'm going to go to that other course that I want to pull it into. You can put and share it just with yourself, but I kind of think this way is easier. So I'm going in this course, and this is the course that I want to pull that module into. So I'm going to click on Import Existing Content. Then I'm going to type the name of that course. I'm going to select Copy a Canvas course and type the name of that course. It's good to know the name of your course. There we go. And then I'm going to select specific course content. And then I would say import. Then I get to select the module that I want to import. And if I select the module, it will bring in everything for that module. So I'm just going to select that one module, and I would say select content, and now it's going to import that to my course. You can't send modules to other classes. You can only send pages and assignments and discussions. You can't send whole modules. So this is the way to get a whole module into your course. Yeah, so I would go to import existing content. Then I would select copy a Canvas course. Then I would type the name of the course. And then I would select specific content, say import, and then select the content that I want to import. So that's it. It does take some time, so you're just gonna have to let it go. You can see like this says queued. There's probably a lot of processes running. Okay, this completed, there's one issue and it will tell you what that issue, so there was a missing link found. Okay, I can go back and check that, but otherwise it pulls it all in. Any questions, Biz, that I should discuss?
No, I think you are good.
Okay, great. All right, the next thing is course navigation. So this is another way that we can really tailor our classes to our students. So you'll see I have a lot of links over here on my left side. That's the course navigation. And if I go into student view, there is going to be a lot. So my students are going to have a lot of things to click that they can click on. Let's get into the student view. I know I'm in student view because that pink bar is down here at the bottom. And look at all of these links. Like it's like a never ending thing of links. And if I'm not using all of these tools, I don't need them to be visible. So that's another way you can really help direct your students to what is important in your course, is by hiding as much as possible from them. So we at my school are going to have a set course navigation order. And so that's something you definitely want to talk to your ITC or your admin about, like, are we going to have an order to this? Because that's really going to help those SPED and L students know, oh, I'm always going to click here for my modules. I'm always going to click here for assignments. So ordering those things in a common way in every class is going to be very helpful. So to order this navigation, I just go to the navigation tab in my course settings and I can move things up and down. And if I want to hide it, I just move it down here to the bottom. And so again, the more things you can hide, the more things that you don't use, just hide them. There's no reason for them to be visible if you don't use the tool. And then just save, and it will be a lot less links for your students to have to wade through. Remember, you should always hide files, you should always hide pages, you should always hide assignments, and you should always hide discussions. And students should get to those things through modules, not through those links. So we always want to hide pages, pages. And if you don't hide files, students can see your quiz keys. So you definitely want to hide files, you want to hide assignments, you want to probably put, let's see, modules near the top. That's going to be like, that's where you want kids to focus. So definitely with your school, talk to them about what order and what things should be visible and what things should be hidden. Any questions about this, Biz?
Nope, just if you want to make sure everybody knows that Zoom is automatically going to be the only disabled thing. Well, I just
Correct. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so Zoom is automatically, let's see, did I move it up already? Yeah, I already moved it up, but it would be in the bottom. So you're going to have to move that up in every course that you have. So let's save this and let's just go see how it looks better. Student view. See, it's a much shorter list already. And there's still things that I could probably hide, like collaborations we're never using. I can hide that. So just keep this list as small and as narrow as is reasonable for your course and your All right, the last thing I think I'm talking about before I pass it back to Biz, is badging. So badging is this is my favorite. All right, so badging is a great way to take your course and gamify it in an online space. You can award badges for the modules you create, and then students, they're gonna get that badge no matter if their mastery was a C or an A or a D, they'll get that badge. It's just based on completion of the module and mastery of that module. So I'm going to show you the steps that you can take to getting into badging. I'm going to share this Wakelet, which has all of the steps that you might need. So that is in the chat now. And I am going to just talk about it. So the very first step that you'll see on this Wakelet is actually for your ITC to do. So they would just need to install this app at your school level. And the steps are there, just share that with them and they can do it. Then all the rest of the steps are you. So your first step is actually, I'm going to sign out of here. Your first step is to log into Badger. And so Badger is the app you're going to use. And you'll just sign in, and you can sign in with your Microsoft account, the same account you use for Canvas. So that's step number 2. Any questions about badging so far, Biz?
Nope, our questions are still mostly course navigation, so keep on going.
Okay, great. So step 3 is you have to create an issuer. You are the issuer. You are the one who will be issuing the badges to your students. So when you log in, you'll see this create issuer button. You're going to click on that, and you're just going to upload and add the information about yourself. So your name, your school's website, your email, and a description. You don't have to add a picture. I didn't. So just, you're making yourself an issuer. You can say, I've agreed, and you'll create issuer. That's step 3, pretty simple. Step 4 is the fun part. You get to make your badges. Okay, so I recommend this website called badge.design, and it is on that Wakelet. It's a really easy way to design badges. You can also design badges at Canva if you're a Canva lover. I mean, I am, but I think this tool is pretty simple, and this is a great tool to send to your students, and they can design the badges. Again, I'm totally into having students be like involved in this process. So I can pick this badge, and then I can add text to it. So let's say skills. Skills. All right. And add skills to it. And then I want to jazz this up with some images. There's lots of places you can find images. I really like Noun Project, which is, you can pay $20 for the year. And oh, someone has their mic on. Yeah, there we go. Thanks. $20 for the year, and you can have tons of images. These are great to share with students to put on flashcards, use in projects. So let's say I like this image. I can change the color of the image to match my badge. Probably doesn't, but I'll pick that color. And I just download it. Then I can go back to Badge Designer and I can upload it. Oh, that's a really horrible color combination. This does not pass the color contrast checker. This would not be good for students with visual impairment. So I'm going to reject that. I'm going to go make a different color. That will be better. I'm going to go back and I'm going to upload that one. Perfect. It is at least contrasty, if not pretty. All right, so skills is my badge, and then I would just download it. I put my email in. They never email you, don't worry, and download it. So now I got this badge that I can upload to my badge, my Badger account. All right, so I'll go over to Badger, and now I'm going to create a badge. So I view the issuer, and I create the badge. I'm gonna drag this image up there. All right, skills. I can put a short description. She's got skills. All right. And then you don't have to put anything on earning criteria. You can if you want, you don't have to. You don't have to put anything anywhere else. You can just click create a badge. So it's just a name, a description, and an image. Oh, it's probably saying I missed something. Oh, I guess you do have to put a URL, and I always just put the URL of the course. There we go. Now it's going to be happy. All right, so there's my badge. That's all I had to do over here. The rest is going to happen. Biz, are there any questions?
Yeah, she just, one of the questions is, if you don't want to purchase the program, and I think she's talking about Noun Project, what can you use for design?
Yeah, I would just Google, there's lots of icon websites out there, insert icons, flat icon, there's lots of places that you can design badges. And Canva, of course, is a great place too. And they have lots of images you can use. Yeah, all right. So then I'm gonna go back to my Canvas page, my Canvas page. And I am going to see, let's see where the badge is at. I have so many links now. Settings. Oh, I know why. This course is not in my domain. So let me go to one of my courses.
Sorry to interrupt, but Badger is asking for a website URL, and I don't know what to put.
You can just put the website of your actual course. So like your course URL right up here, you can just copy and paste that.
Thank you.
All right, so here is a course I can use. Let's see. I think I've hidden Badger. Let's bring it back up. Yeah. All right, cool. So badges does have to be evident here. It does have to be in your course navigation if you're using it. So I'll go to badges. And the first time it will ask me to log in. It will connect with my account. And then it will load. And it's going to detect any modules that I've made. So it's detecting this module. And then I can assign a badge that I've created to go with it. And you'll see that it's based on course completion. So all I have to do here is assign the badges. And then I go to my modules. So then I go to the modules, and all I have to do is add one little assignment at the end of the module, and that's where the student will get their badge. So I click the plus sign, and I select external tool, and I select Badger, and I say add item. And then at the end of my module, you'll see they'll now click a little thing where they'll get that badge. So that's why you want to use the prerequisites and the requirements in the module so that they don't get to this space until they're done. And you don't have to have elaborate requirements like I had, like in that badge. You could literally have one requirement. Let's see. I could literally just have this one requirement that they have to do before they get the badge. So it could just be an end of module quiz or an end of module assessment, an end of module something, and then they get the badge. So Biz, are there any questions about that?
2 questions. Here's the first one, and I didn't know how to answer it. Somebody asked if the badge was accessible.
I mean, it's an image. I think the description should fit the badge when you make the badge, and so then yes, it's accessible.
Cool. This is what I thought so, but I'd never asked myself that question before, so I wanted to run it by you. So then a couple more questions. If we want the badge to be for mastery, can we just make the required assignments a minimum score so they need that before getting the badge?
Exactly. So if I go back here, if like that one assignment, they had to get a 3 out of 5, and then, you know, they could just have that one assignment and then get the badge.
Yeah. And I'm just going to kind of carte blanche because statement to a lot of the questions here. If that was fast for you, if you want to see any of those steps again, take a look at that Wakelet, which Katie put in the chat, but it's also in the course that we are in, and you can kind of walk through the whole process slowly, step by step again.
Yeah, there's a video I made for each step of the process. And the last thing I want to show you before I hand it back over to Biz is that you can monitor your students' project progress in the same window. So I would go to progress, and I can see, oh, there are no students, but usually my students and whatever badges they've earned would be right here. And then you can also enable a leaderboard, which is the way that you would gamify it. So students can see each other and how they compare, but it gives them fake names like Firefly, Destiny. It's like funny fake names, so that's what they'll see. They won't actually, they'll know their alias, but they won't know their classmates. So they can use that to kind of gamify the room. And that is all I have.
Oh, awesome. And look at me, I left my mic on. So I didn't even have to unmute. Just one quick question that was asked to me privately. So I just want to make sure everybody knows this. We don't have any intention of ever deleting this course. So you will continue to have access to it through forever until Canvas melts. So if you need to keep going back to these resources throughout the year, even into next year, we have no intention of taking it away from you. So, you know, take your time with it. You don't have to get everything mastered tonight at all. Okay, speaking of mastering things, sorry, was that really a nerdy way to segue?
That was a really great way.
One of my very favorite things in all of Canvas is mastery paths. I think it is an amazing thing you can do for your students to really provide them with differentiation and choice, which we know are 2 of the most valuable things we can do for our students. I will caution you, if you are still getting a hold of the idea of building a module and what kind of content goes in here, this is something I'd love for you to come back and revisit in the future. This is the kind of thing that you will be great at if you have, if you're the kind of person who loves being planned out a week in advance and you already know about the first couple weeks of school and you're feeling pretty confident in Canvas. if you're still kind of getting your bearings in Canvas, focus on that first. And then I have a short video in this course for you that you can come back and revisit, where I'm going to cover all of this again. But if you're ready for it now, dive in with me, because it is, like I said, my very favorite thing. Again, so the purpose of Mastery Paths is that it allows students to take an assessment of some sort. And then based on the grade they get from that assessment, it allows them to get an assignment based on their score. So students who take an assessment and get 100% on it will get some high level extension content, and students who take the assessment and get a 20% on it are gonna get a lot of foundational information. And so you can set all of that up in a module by using Mastery Paths. So I have for you here, and this is the last module in the course for tonight. Here's the tutorial video, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to set it up. So the first thing you're gonna do when you are working on Mastery Paths is you need to start with a quiz or any kind of graded assignment. I like starting with a quiz because quizzes can auto grade, and then so the students will instantly get their work. Or get their score, and then they can be put on their path to follow through. So you'll start with some kind of quiz or graded assignment, and then you'll fill up the module with all of the possible opportunities that you might have your students do. So for example, in this module that I'm showing you, I've got 3 separate readings. So here's one for students who are approaching mastery, here's one for students that have already shown mastery, and here's one for students who need more help. I named them that to make it really clear for you what I was doing in this module. Please don't name them that for your students. In fact, you could probably give these all a very similar name, so they might not even necessarily know what they're seeing. I just wanted to give you some context on what that would look like. So I've got my quiz, I've got some readings, and then I've got assignments. Oh, I had one more I meant to add on here. So just to show you what it looks like, I've got an assignment here for students who are approaching or have achieved mastery. And I'm gonna add one assignment for students who still need to show mastery. And I'm gonna click add item. And I like to indent these just to make it a little clearer to me what I want everyone to do. So I know in this particular assignment, I want my kids to take a quiz. I want them to interact with 1 page, and then I want them to do 1 assignment. So let me show you how I make that all happen. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna start by looking at my pages and my assignments. If I go to here's my page, and I've already done this, but I just wanna make sure you know where to look. If I click on my page for my material for students who are approaching mastery, and I load that up, I wanna make sure that I check this one little box, which you've probably seen a bunch of times when you've looked at pages in Canvas, but you may have sort of ignored. And that is the button. Notice I went to the page and now I'm clicking edit. That button says allow in Mastery Paths. If you check this button right here, that's the only way it will show up. However, if you're not using Mastery Paths and you have allow in Mastery Paths checked, no one will see this. So you would only check this if you're definitely going to use this as a specific thing in Mastery Paths. So again, I built my module, I put all my pages in it, and now I want to make sure that in any of my pages, allow in Mastery Paths is checked. The same thing is going to be true for your assignments. Any assignments that you create that you want to have assigned in Mastery Paths, when you create these assignments, again, I'm just going to go to this one right here, and I'm pretty sure I've done this in advance, but this will be a good time to double check. God bless the internet. I'm going to click edit here, and I'm going to make sure, oh, I can see it right here, that it's for Mastery Paths. So again, any assignments here, when you are assigning them as your last step, your default is going to be to assign to everyone. That's what's going to be there by default, but you are instead of, it'll be like that, but you're going to want to make sure you have assignments to say assign to Mastery Paths, not to everyone. And again, that's just going to be really important. You'll always get this little error. It's okay. It just wants to make sure you know that you're not assigning to everyone, that you're only assigning it to Mastery Paths. So set up your modules, you made sure everything's assigned to Mastery Paths, And now you're gonna set up the mastery paths in that quiz. So again, I've got this diagnostic quiz here at the beginning. And I would suggest that you would make that not a grade for because you're trying to determine a level, because it's just something where you're gathering information. I would make this an informative assessment. So if they do fail it, it doesn't hurt their grade. So I've made this quiz. I'm gonna click on the snowman over here and choose edit. And this will be a familiar screen to you. This is just where I first set up my quiz. When I set it up, and you'll see this again on any graded assignment. So you'll see this tab right here on discussions. You'll see it on assignments, and you'll see it here on quizzes. So if you go to mastery paths here, here's where you do all the actual setup. The first thing you're gonna do is grade this decide what counts as mastery. So maybe I only think a student has achieved mastery if they've got a 90% or better. Or maybe I wanna give them these extension assignments if they've got an 80% or better. That's gonna be a personal choice, but what do you think is good enough on the assessment to do the advanced level? And then what's your middle range? In the default is gonna be 40. Again, you can change this, and then your bottom's just gonna go down to 0. So you've got 3 paths that you can put them on. Once you've set your baseline score for this quiz, you're gonna click this plus button here, and that's gonna allow you to add any of those items to the path. So this is my students who've scored between 100 and 80%. So I'm with them to do the reading. That's for our students who have already shown mastery, and I want them to do the assignment for students who are approaching or who have achieved mastery. So I'm gonna click that. And now I know that when a student scores between 80 and 100%, these are the only 2 things they will see in the module. Same thing down here, I'm gonna ask these students to do the reading for students who are approaching mastery, and I'm gonna give them this assignment right here for students who are approaching who have achieved. But I can, if I want to, and this is another really amazing thing, I can give these guys in this middle area, I can do this for anywhere, but I love it in the middle area. I could even give these guys some choices. So maybe I'm gonna also give them this higher level thing. Or maybe, you know what, I'm not gonna give them the higher level thing. I'm gonna give them the option to maybe take a more fundamental approach. Maybe they did score around 40 and they're gonna want an easier choice. So I'm gonna add those items, but I don't want them to do all 4 of these things. So if I just click this little ampersand, it now is gonna give them a choice. So they can either do this kind of higher level stuff, or they can do this lower level stuff. I can do that at every level, and you don't have to, but it's nice to know that you have the option to give them a choice. And then again, I need to make sure these kids have something, and these are my lower level kids, so I wanna make sure that they get the students who need more help, and the assignment for students who still need to show mastery. And I'm gonna add that. Again, I can give them a choice if I want to. I think you'll find these middle group kids are the people you want to give the choice to the most, because you'll have such a wide range in here. When I'm done clicking that, I can just click on save. And once that saves, if I go back to my module, if I patiently wait and then go back to my module, I can instantly see that I hate this quiz. I like the quizzes. I'm sorry, I like quizzes. I just get frustrated with how they kind of lock you in. So if I go back to my modules now, I can see that I've set up my mastery paths because my quiz says mastery paths on it, and all of these assignments tell me who's going to get them. Kids between 80 and 40 are the only ones who are gonna get this. Kids between 180 are the only ones who are gonna get this, and different sections here are gonna get this. I'm gonna go ahead and publish these because I wanna give you the option to view this as a student so you can see what students will see. The last thing that I would definitely encourage you to do on this module, once you have everything set up with the mastery paths, would be to go up here to the top, and Katie already showed this, but go ahead, click on that snowman and click edit. And you want to add a requirement to this. And in this case, you really just want to leave that top one. Students must complete all the requirements, and specifically this check here. They must move through the requirements in sequential order. And that's going to be important because otherwise you can have them going through things. They'll see all the options before they take the quiz, and we don't want them to see any of the options before they take the diagnostic assessment. So I'm going to click update module, and it gives me that same little warning that it will always give me. And now it's ready for my students. Hey, Katie, what kind of questions do you have?
First of all, people are loving this. People are very excited.
It's so good.
Yeah. But they would love to see a student view.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think now is a great time to do that. I just published it for you, so you can go and look at the student view. If you have too many devices open, I'll go ahead and show you my student view right now. And I'm going to choose that middle path because I want you to see what it's like when they have the choice as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on student view and wait for that to pop up. And if you don't want to watch me or watch my internet work through this, then by all means, go ahead and play with this there. So you can see this. Here's the tutorial video. Obviously, students wouldn't see that, but because I put the prerequisites on it, you have to at least interact with the page for a second. I didn't think that one through, sorry. The quiz is set up, obviously, not the way you would ever set up a quiz. It's set up so you can choose to get questions right or wrong. And that reminds me, a common question that I get when I talk about mastery paths is, can I use this as can I use a hack to get kids to have different paths based on their choices? And my answer for you would be, yeah, absolutely. So if you sort of set this up as a 1-question quiz and you assign each question a point value, you can then make those points be basically the same as a choice. So to show you a middle one, I'm going to get 1 question right, or 2 questions right and 1 question wrong will get me right in that sweet little middle spot. So as soon as I click submit, it's going to give me a score. I know my score. I got my answers. Cool. I'm going to click return because I'm done. And this is also a great time to remind you that you can give question by question feedback on a quiz. And this would be a great time to do that. It takes me back to my modules. And I do sometimes have to refresh it to get to that next step. Because even though my quiz was graded, it can sometimes take a second. My diagnostic quiz was graded though. This might be a case of student view being annoying to me as well.
Yes, the student view. I do have a question while you're waiting. Will students see that name mastery path, or is that just something you typed?
Oh yeah, that's what I called the module, so you would know where to look. Oh, this is new for me. However, I've done something incorrectly or something's going wrong. It might, again, sometimes student view doesn't show you exactly what students will see. I'm hoping you're seeing something better than what I'm seeing. So that's still not what I should be seeing. Oh, good. I'm seeing it. I'm just peeked over at the chat and see that you guys are seeing it a little better. It may just be the fact that student view isn't giving me what I want.
View.
Sorry, it works though.
But she's giving you the experience, so you can do it in a class.
Yeah, and I have tested it on real human students and like actual students in the county, and it works for them. So yeah, absolutely. It's definitely worth doing. And even though I feel like I'm letting you down here, you can go through the experience yourself.
You're not letting anyone down, Biz.
Okay, thanks, Katie.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other questions? Because I haven't mostly been looking at the chat.
No, I think we're really getting everything. People are just really excited about it, and they're like, I'm going to watch the videos. And someone asked us if we were offering this session again, and unfortunately we don't have any plans, but the video will be on our YouTube channel for the world to watch.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, the feedback I'm getting is that, yeah, if you're doing it as a student in this course, you'll have no problems interacting with it. And yes, you can put these in any course. You can have as many mastery paths modules as you want. You can make every single module a mastery path, but there's only so many hours in the day. So I would save this for the times when it really matters.
I've gone ahead and put the attendance on the chat. So if you are trying to go, you got kids, you need to say goodnight to, put a tooth under the pillow, or money under the pillow for the tooth fairy. I don't know. The chat, please complete the attendance. That form is in the chat.
You can also find that form in the course. Is it public yet? I'll publish. I got it right now.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it out of the chat, you can also go into the course. It will be closed shortly. This is the only way that we have to mark you attended. So please make sure that you fill this out. We don't have any other way to be able to do this.
Yeah, so Denise, that's where you're going to have your ITC. Yeah, you're going to see that consumer key and shared secret, and that's on the website. You can install it and they provide that to you, but I think it's really best if your ITC installs it school-wide.
I agree. The number of cumulative hours it saves is going to be worth it.
Yeah. And it's a quick task for your ITC to do.
Yeah. I see that you guys, some of you may have questions, so let me just give you permission to leave once you have filled out the form if you want to, but we will be here till 8. If you want to hang out and ask questions, we are happy to hang out and answer them.
I have a question about the Zoom issue. This is Samantha. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, Kara. You can see my face. Hold on. Okay. My question was, which I saw somebody else had the same problem. When I go in, my account is verified, but when I go in through Canvas to like join a link, it doesn't join with my verified account. If I use an email, like if I get like a link via email and like join through Outlook, it does use my verified account. And I don't know why it's doing that. And I've tried to fix it. I've tried to like log out of the Zoom app on my computer and re-log in. And I've made sure that I'm logged in under my Prince William account. So I don't know what the problem is.
I think I might be having the same issue because in my other, because I had the other account, so it's showing my name as just Angela Hunt. But if I was to go in a different way, like an actual link with the code, the secret code, then my little Bitmoji that I've already uploaded to my Prince William account shows up. So something's not connecting, and I don't know.
So my solution to that is through my Outlook account, I logged into Zoom. So if you go to your waffle and choose Zoom and sign in before you go into Canvas, then it'll log you in through your authenticated account.
Interesting. All right, good to know.
Yeah.
It happens to me when it appears in my account. It's something like Laugh-Mark, that is my personal account, and not the one from the county. I don't know why.
Yeah, so Ms. Martinez, but also everybody, some of these, like when your account's doing something weird, that's something you can definitely get on a chat with your ITC about and walk them through it. I know I did that for a couple of my staff members today, just to kind of troubleshoot things and see if they can figure it out. So if you want to set something up, Ms. Martinez, we can do that. Just looking back at the chat real quick. Oh my gosh, there's so much chat. The first question I saw once we sent the attendance link was if we do breakout rooms with an activity like we did tonight, should we use Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Slides? And I'm glad you asked that question. I did mention this in the chat, but this is something that's definitely worth making sure everyone hears. Most of our schools in Prince William County are not Google schools. Some of them are, right? Like Katie's school and my school are Google schools. And in that case, do whatever you're comfortable with. However, if you do not have a Google domain at your school, 100% the answer to this question is PowerPoint. PowerPoint, you just saw it. It will definitely do all the same things slides can do in this situation. And you should never have a student interacting with a personal Google account.
And that's why even though Biz and I are both at Google schools, we use PowerPoint because that is the county tool. So we wanted to model that is the appropriate tool to use if you're not at a Google school.
Looking for more questions, but I'm also still scrolling through the chat.
Here's a good question. I don't know, but do any of the KLC modules were they pushed out to incorporate mastery paths? And I would say no, those won't. All of that prerequisites, the course designers were specifically told not to use prerequisites requirements, that would be something that you as a teacher would have the autonomy to set in your course.
Yeah, I see a question about badging, and I think this is right, Katie. It asks students if they go to the website to enter their email, but they won't need to do that because they're accessing it through Canvas, right?
Yeah, they will never go to the website. They'll always just see it on your screen, on your page.
Can I ask you a Zoom question?
Sure.
I'm hearing conflicting things. I think this is my 3rd class with you guys. First of all, you're amazingly awesome. I love you. So I'm hearing it. Some people say we're supposed to record our Zoom lessons, and I think in my accessibility it says we have to make them closed caption. And then I'm being told, no, you don't. It's not required that you record your Zoom lessons. Is that a site-based decision, or can you clarify?
Yeah, I think it is. We're still waiting for word from above. I don't know, God or KLC, one of the two. But we're still waiting for word from above as to what the official word on that is.
Oh,
but
okay.
I believe, students shouldn't be recorded. So I think, Zoom, when it auto records, when I'm recording this session, it's just going to record anything that's on the screen and any speaker. So I would just tell students, if they don't want their face on the recording, to, make sure they turn their camera off before they speak.
But right now it's not required.
Yeah, it will be site-based.
Yeah.
This is what we can say. Yeah, we are not we don't have that pay grade.
Okay.
And I think that will come down from higher than site-based at some point. I just don't think it has been officially announced yet.
Yeah, they're running out of time.
Well, with pre-recording, you don't need to know till the day before, right? So, but yeah, I know there are a lot of questions that I think we'll be hearing answers to, but this one's definitely above our pay grade.
And let's see. All right, I still see about at least 5 people who haven't done the attendance yet. So we really want you to do that before you leave. So I'm going to put it in the chat one more time. So please complete that attendance.
There's a question in the chat, and then you're up next. There's a question in the chat, but I also saw on the discussion board about adding like Canva and Spark assignments to Canvas. Canva, no. Spark, yes, it's already done for you. If you want to know more about the integration that you can add to things on the left-hand side, we will talk about that in a session we are doing tomorrow on embedding and LTIs. If you look that up in the professional development catalog, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Katie and me back here again. If you've already done that course, it's the same one.
If the catalog is closed, you can email us and we'll add you.
Oh yeah. Because, I think it's full, but we've been sneaking people in.
Yeah. You're welcome, Casey.
Samantha, I think you're ready. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I may have out of date information. Are we still planning on depending on Mastery Connect for tests and things? Is that still in the works, or should I plan on putting quizzes and tests in my Canvas?
Mastery Connect is 100% being rolled out by the county. As far as I know, they're syncing up accounts as we speak. ITCs have already been trained on it. So you should definitely plan on doing that for your large formative assessment tests. I think you should still feel comfortable building quizzes within Canvas, though. I just wouldn't build a unit test within the quizzes feature.
And we also have to remember, like, wherever remote, like unit tests that are multiple choice are completely pointless. That is not a way to measure mastery in a remote setting. I mean, it is just like, who wants to be a millionaire, phone a friend, all the other, like, assistance they can have. So we really need to be focusing and moving towards authentic assessments where kids are creating stuff, like using Adobe Spark, or having them, to make a video or a web page, or having them make a video with Flipgrid telling you what they know, or writing a paper, or making a presentation and giving it during your Zoom time. Those are all the things you guys should be moving towards for assessments to really make them authentic, and be moving more towards what are the skills we wanting them to do than the content we wanting them to focus on. So building those skills within your content is where we want you to move.
Yeah, authentic assessment is even more meaningful in remote learning.
Rachel, just email us. I don't know the course code off the top of my head for tomorrow. Just email one of us and we can add you. Yeah. It's almost 8 o'clock. I don't know numbers.
Yeah. Oh, hey, so I'm probably like still 10 minutes behind on the comments. So I don't know if you're even still here, whoever asked this. But this is something that I think I want to just shout it from the mountaintops. The question is, Bitmoji front page is really out of the question if we are to meet accessibility requirements. Here's my answer. Accessibility above cuteness every time, no matter what. However, if you are willing to do a ton of work, you can have a Bitmoji page that is also accessible. Don't embed links within the Bitmoji page. Anything you have needs to be linked out separately. Your Bitmoji needs to be alt texted. But really, my heart just wants you to do quality instruction first and make it cute second, as long as you are including accessibility with all the cuteness. That said, I've seen people do accessible, cute Bitmoji pages. It can be done. And so if that is really what you want to do, you can do it. So yeah, don't let anybody tell you it's illegal. You just have to do it in the most accessible way possible.
It looks like Margaret had a question. She says, once you cross-list, can you send messages just to one section? Yeah, you totally can just send messages to one section. Do we have any best practices about staying organized, Biz? Organized time management, maybe?
Oh man, do I? Yeah, no, actually productivity is like one of my little passion things. I did a series of videos about time management this summer. And if you want to check them out, they're at time.itcsforall.com, which I will now put into the chat. So it's more about time management than organization, but I think those things go really well hand in hand. I can tell you that both Katie and I started, I don't know, is obsessively too strong? Obsessively using Todoist to manage all of the things that we have on our plates. And that has been amazing for my own organization.
Same. Todoist is a great app that Biz introduced me to. They do have an educator discount, which is cool. And for me, it's worth my sanity.
It really is. It's you can use it for free, and that's great too. But if you like it, I would encourage you to check out the educator discount for the premium version, which is $18 a year, much less than Netflix. And I think I spend at least as much time with Todoist as I do with Netflix.
Yeah, it's great. It will sync with your Google Calendar. It can pull in your Outlook calendar. It can do some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if you just like checking things off a list, it's very gratifying.
Yeah.
Or if you can have a team, like Biz and I are on a team and we can assign each other things. And that's also very nice.
Yeah, it also, oh, sorry, I pasted the wrong thing in here. It only works though if there's people on your team who look at what's being assigned to them.
I'm going to stop the recording just so it doesn't go on and on.
Yeah.
And on.